Hello and welcome to today's video. If you like what we're doing here on the channel, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you never miss another video. And now on to today's video. In the last week, the Themed Entertainment Association, or TEA, have revealed the attendance figures for 2024 for theme parks across the world. Today in this video, we're going to have a quick analysis of what these figures can tell us, especially for Disney and Universal going forward into 2025. To start, we're going to look at the operator figures, which to nobody's surprise, Disney remains the world's most popular theme park company, with 145 million total visitors across all its parks worldwide, which is up 1.2% compared to 2023. Universal, however, came in fourth with nearly 59 million guests going through their parks worldwide, but results in a 0.7% drop compared to 2023. Merlin Entertainments, who are big here in the UK, came in third above Universal with just under 63 million guests going through its theme park gates in 2024, which was an increase of 1.1% in 2023. To round off the top five, Fantaworld Group, who are mainly based in China, came in second with 87 million. That is an increase of just about 1.7% according to these charts. And Six Flags came in fifth with 50 million, which is 2.8% up on 2023. The other worldwide picture shown in this next chart shows what regions had the most attendance, and unsurprisingly, Florida is still the #1 destination for theme parks in the world, with having 6 theme parks in its top 25 globally, totaling 68.1 million visitors. China comes in second as well, with 6 parks that are in the top 25 most attended in 2024, totaling 51.8 million visitors, which includes Shanghai Disneyland and Universal Studios Beijing. Japan and California come in at 3 and 4 respective, both having 3 parks each contributing to the top 25 globally, and both all being Universal and Disney parks. France on its own came in 5th, with both Disney parks at the Paris Resort making it into the top 25, between the two accumulating 15.8 million visitors in 2024. And Hong Kong Disneyland Park puts the Hong Kong region 6th in the world for 2024, having a total of 7.9 million visitors. I think, having a quick analysis of these figures, there are really no surprises to this chart here, this global map. Florida's always, I think, going to be the top destination for theme park guests. Obviously, China, with such a big population and trying to grow in the theme park market, it was always really going to be destined to be in second place. And looking at the other regions, Japan and California are quite famous for having obviously the Universal and Disney parks, which again have proven extremely popular as always. So they're always going to be there. France obviously massively helped by having the Disney parks, so it'll be interesting to see what happens when Universal may eventually open in the UK, to see how much that might bump the UK, just even on its own, like France here, in the rankings, because I can see that being a big attendance and a lot of people coming from all around the world to visit that park. And again, yeah, the Hong Kong region literally just has Hong Kong Disneyland, but because it's such a popular park, being Disney on its own, 7.9 million. That's a huge figure. And again, as I say, looking at it overall, there isn't really many surprises looking at the statistics here. So now we're going to move on to North America. Once again, no surprises here. Who occupies top spot? Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World is the #1 park in North America. Actually, all top 5 theme parks in North America are owned and operated by Disney, with the Disneyland Park in California #2, and the park across the road, California Adventure, coming in at #5, whilst Epcot and Hollywood Studios come in at 3 and 4 respectively. To round off Walt Disney World, Animal Kingdom comes in at number 8 with 8.8 million guests. Universal in this ranking comes in at 6 with Universal Studios Florida. They got 9.5 million guests through its gate in 2024, followed very, very closely by its neighbour Islands of Adventure. That came in 7th, 9.45 million guests. So still to me quite surprising with Harry Potter, with Velocicoaster and that did surprise me that Islands of Adventure actually was just that little bit less than Studios in Florida. But I don't know whether this counts Halloween Horror Nights. That probably is a big pickup for them. So I don't know how they get these statistics, but surely they should count for attendance. But the big thing here is that both parks saw reductions in their attendance from 2023, with the Studios Park down 2.6% and Islands of Adventure down a whopping 5.5% according to these figures. Now, to me, this is likely down to two factors. One, there's no big new attractions. And two, the imminent arrival of Epic Universe the following year in 2025. Everyone can go back 12 months ago. I know so many people that were putting off trips to Universal Orlando because they wanted to wait for Epic Universe to open. So I wouldn't be surprised that a lot of families done that, and that is most likely why them figures are obviously down for Universal year on year between 2023 and 2024. So it'll certainly be interesting to see what the TEA attendance figures published for 2025 be this time next year, to see what difference Epic Universe makes to the rankings and obviously to Universal's numbers year on year. Unfortunately, the news doesn't get much better for Universal Parks on the opposite side of the country, with Universal Studios Hollywood sitting 9th in the ranking, which is good, with 8.7 million guests. But unfortunately, that basically sees a reduction of almost 10% from 2023. So that's pretty big. And again, possibly down to that there's nothing new. Obviously, the park is a little bit more awkward to go to. It's a one-day park to a lot of people in Los Angeles and that for tourists. I've only been once. I don't really say I'm an expert in the Studios of Hollywood theme park. But yeah, it's very interesting to see that these figures say it's almost down 10% from 2023. So that's a massive drop for them. Still in the sort of same state, neighbouring park, Knott's Berry Farm, saw an increase in attendance of 6.5%. So that's where a lot of the people went. I think they went to Knott's Berry by the looks at these stats. They've gone up to 4.5 million guests and conclude the top 10. This is also the first time for the Six Flags organisation, who acquired Cedar Fair in July 2024. That means no SeaWorld park is in the top 10 for 2024, with SeaWorld Orlando coming in at number 11 with 4.3 million and their San Diego counterpart just behind them at number 12. Both saw a pretty much steady comparison as well between 2023 and 2024, as you can see from the chart. Busch Gardens Tampa Bay came in at number 13 with a minor 0.6% decrease, but I put it here now, I expect this, in my opinion, to drop in the next couple of sets of figures in the next few years. The reason for that is that there is a big rumour going about at the moment that they are planning to remove the complimentary bus service from SeaWorld Orlando to Busch Gardens Tampa Bay. If that does indeed happen, I can expect that there's going to be a lot less attendance to Busch Gardens, because it would rely on people from Orlando getting their own way over to Tampa Bay. And I can see a lot of people with what's on offer, and especially having a whole new park at Universal as well. A lot of people's 2-week holidays can easily be filled just staying in Orlando, and there's no need to go over to Busch Gardens Tampa Bay. So watch this one, but I predict that there could be bigger decreases coming for Busch Gardens in the next few sets of figures. Six Flags has 2 named parks. Six Flags Magic Mountain came in 16th, and Six Flags Great America came in 19th on the list, with a big increase from 2023 seen for Great America at 5%. Cedar Point and Kings Island also saw 5% increases and became part of Six Flags following the Cedar Fair merger in July 2024. Therefore, after this merger, Disney, Universal and Six Flags own and operate 15 in total. That's 15 of the top 20 theme parks in North America. Huge stat there. Just 3 companies owning 15 of the top 20 theme parks is crazy. For the first time, Dollywood makes it into the top 20 of theme parks in North America, sitting 18th with 3.1 million visitors. Hershey Park finishes off the top 20 with an exact same attendance as 2023 with 3 million guests. Now, if you take that all as an overall, and it states at the bottom of the chart, overall, theme parks in North America saw attendance decrease by 0.3%. So it has remained fairly stable year on year between 2023 and 2024. But this decrease is probably likely down to being counteracted with all the increases at other parks by the huge decreases at Universal Parks, both at Hollywood and in Orlando. So it'll be interesting to see, especially for Universal, how it looks for 2025 when the figures come out this time next year for them guys. So after that, we're going to move over to Europe. Again, no major surprises here and no prizes for who's top here. Disneyland Park at the Disneyland Paris Resort came in top with 10.2 million guests, but that is actually down 1.8%. Same for the Studios Park that comes in at number 4, 5.5 million guests, but it is also down 1.8%. No guesses what I'm about to tell you here. I think a lot of people are putting off trips over to Disneyland Paris at the moment and are waiting for Disney Adventure World to open spring next year. So even next year's figures of 2025, I can still see potentially being steady, flat, or it could very well be down again. But I would highly expect the 2026 figures, which is going to be crazy to say, but will come in 2027. I can see them reporting significant increases year on year for Disneyland Paris, because I think that is what everybody is waiting for. So it'll be interesting to see. Europa Park in Germany up 3.3%. And sitting in second place with 6.2 million, basically Disney's main rivals in the European market. Efteling in the Netherlands came in third, also very popular park. But it did have a little bit of an increase compared to 2023 with 0.7% to 5.6 million visitors. And I reckon that is probably down to the opening of Danse Macabre that opened over there, that I've seen many people on YouTube reporting about, saying good things about. So it'll be interesting to see what else happens. I know they opened a new hotel this year. So again, it'll be interesting to see how that affects attendance when the figures come out next year. So still quite a competitive market in Europe, which is obviously great for the theme park fans because that means continuous investment. Going down to Spain, no surprise, number 1 park over there, Portaventura, came in at number 1 with 3.8 million guests. However, significantly down on 2023. That is down to 4.4%. So a very interesting outlook, it seems, for Portaventura there. Obviously, they're probably at the time of these figures as well, there was a lot of rumours that Universal might actually purchase that resort back. I reckon that's obviously cooled off because they're going to be building a resort here in the UK. So obviously it'll be interesting to see where the future lies for Portaventura. Heard from various vloggers that the operations are completely shocking still there. I've never been there myself. Something I would still like to do at some point, but it seems a very sort of cagey resort to go to based on that. But I'm hoping one day I'll probably get there myself. But down 4.4%, possibly down to word of mouth, but obviously that's not great news for the Spanish resort. And coming into the UK, no surprise, Alton Towers, once again, biggest park in the UK and actually 10th overall in Europe. So that's pretty good for them. So yeah, number 1 with 2.5 million guests going through its gates here in the UK. But a big up for Alton Towers, up 6.4% compared on 2023. But we all know what the reason is. Nemesis Reborn. That was opened in these figures in 2024. So no surprise, big up on them. And obviously 2023, bit of a downy year. Obviously they had the Curse of Alton Manor, which is a great haunted house. If you come over to the UK, definitely come to Alton Towers anyway. definitely have to come over to go on that. It's an absolute cracking reinvention of the Haunted House ride. Absolutely brilliant. That came in 2023, but obviously Nemesis weren't around. Such a famous and popular roller coaster to theme park enthusiasts. That obviously reopened in 2024, and that's probably the biggest explanation I could give for probably the 6.4% increase between the 2 years. So basically, that is almost it. Other notable things I thought that were interesting from these figures. SeaWorld Abu Dhabi actually debuts in these figures because it opened in 2024, and quite surprisingly, it actually beat its neighbour that was already established, Warner Brother World Abu Dhabi. It came in at 18th with 1.75 million guests in its opening year, a whole 250,000 guests more than Warner Brothers World that came in 20th with 1.5 million. But Warner Brothers, was up 12.5% on 2023. So obviously a lot of people are going over to Abu Dhabi to experience what they've got over there. Looks an exceptional indoor park. Really would love to get out there one day to try and experience them two places and Ferrari World. And obviously Disney are looking to build a park or resort in that market as well. So only things can go up, I reckon, for that region. And finally to note, Legoland Windsor, another big park over here in the UK. That beat Legoland Deutschland and Legoland Billard to be the biggest park, Lego park, in Europe, with 2.25 million guests. 12th place and up 1.2% against 2023. So that's what I look at the figures. Overall, though, one other stat I did see with regards to these attendance figures, if you combine the top 25 parks visited around the world, worldwide, it actually shows that attendance between them all grew 2.4% from 2023 to 2024. So obviously that is quite nice steady growth overall for the entire worldwide theme park industry, and something that I can see so many parks are always announcing new things, continuously doing big improvements. So yeah, there's something that I could see nice steady growth over the next few years, especially how much the Disney parks are going to be doing, how much Universal will be, like I say, really interesting to see the figures this time next year on what Epic Universe's effects are going to be to these stats, because I guess that's going to be big attendance as well. So it'll be really interesting to see in 12 months time what we'll be reporting here, hopefully on the channel, for next year's figures for this current year, 2025. So that's my run through and a quick analysis of all the different figures and my thoughts on certain things, rises, falls, as to why I think these have happened. Hope you've enjoyed going through it with me. As I said at the beginning of this video, if you enjoy what we're doing here in videos like this, there's a lot more coming, a lot more content. So please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss another video. And with that all being said, I have one more thing left to say to close off this video. Go out there and live life the smart way. Thanks for listening and watching. Take care, guys. See you in the next one.